Money in the Bank is behind us. The USO, Solo, Roman, Civil War has concluded. We don't do any long intros here. I'm Harry. This is Tyson. The show starts now. Now, before we get into the Money in the Bank thing, did you watch the NXT Golden Corral shit?
I did not.
All right,
I
well,
watched the main event, and that was about it.
okay. Yeah, that was really the only thing I was interested in. Like, after Braun Breaker and Rollins, it's really I think they kind of shot their wad with that. Like, what was going to be bigger than that?
Not this Baron Corbin match. I know that.
Right. So real quick, Tiffany Stratton, she retains NXT Women's Championship. She beat the Chase U chick. Gallus, they retain their titles. Oh, I almost died there. Nathan Frazier, he retains his little cup thing. Gigi Dolan and her emotional trauma wins against Kiana James. And then Carmella Hayes, of course, beats Baron Corbin.
As you knew, he was. Baron Corbin was not going to win the title. I guess the only thing to note there is the lone wolf Baron Corbin is back, or at least for that one night he was.
Yeah, and I think that's the iteration of Corbin that suits him the best. Now, if only he grew some goddamn hair.
Well, he used to have hair, and it didn't work out too well for him.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe he just don't have long hair, just like short hair. I don't know. I kind of like. I think he looks normal with the bald.
I don't know. He just looks like a condom.
I always say though, if you have a bald head, you gotta have a beard. Like, there's got to be something
Yeah,
up there. You
and
can't just be bald head, beard, no
and
beard.
it's almost like he doesn't have eyebrows too. It's just he's just too hairless.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Anything else you want to add with NXT?
No, Raw Underground is back. We already talked about that last week, but it's worth mentioning again. They're pumping up that Raw Underground. So,
Yay! I still don't know what that is.
well, watch next week and you'll find, or this coming week and you'll find out.
All right. Speaking of Raw, Dominic and Cody package opens the show. I honestly skipped every second of it because I was not interested in seeing Cody and Rhea Ripley have a exchange of words. Did you see it?
Uh, it was the same old, pretty much. Like, there was nothing new came out of this whole thing.
Yeah. So after that, we got Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura. Ricochet wins. So much for that little push that Shinsuke was supposed to have.
Yep.
After that,
Wait a minute, wait a minute,
oh,
wait a minute.
sure.
So everybody, a big thing in the community is Vince McMahon versus Triple H. Oh, this is a Vince segment. This is a Triple H segment. They're 50-50 booking the show. So I did take liberties in writing down at least, you know, it's not 100%, but I wrote down segment by segment who controlled this segment. So I would put the Cody and Dom segment as a Triple H segment. I would put the Shinsuke Ricochet match as a Triple H segment because they went more than 3 minutes, and those are two Triple H guys, so we can agree that was a Triple H segment. Okay, so the first two segments we got is Triple H.
Okay. So then we get a replay of Gunther beating Riddle's ass. And then we find that Riddle challenged Gunther at Money in the Bank. So I was excited because that means that there's two matches that I had to look forward to.
Yeah, we didn't predict that match, but I assumed we were both going to pick Gunther anyway.
Oh, of course.
But it was quite the surprise that they just like out of nowhere announced it.
Although I will say, if anybody was going to beat him, like I could see Riddle doing it just because he's the MMA guy. As much as
Well,
I like to shit on him and stuff, he is legit.
yeah, I mean, he still got the painted nails, so. But
Yeah, I believe
uh,
they were pink tonight.
I didn't even see. I was looking. I can add into what color they were.
I'm pretty sure they were pink,
Okay,
like a carnation pink.
there you go. Matt Riddle's nails.
Yeah.
Um, I guess it is worth noting here. And now, if we skip to Money in the Bank, it didn't happen, but it was heavily rumored that, and it's still a thing out there in the universe right now. Randy Orton. This was shared by Kurt Angle on his podcast that Randy Orton a return is imminent. So he said Kurt Angle said that he's fully healing nicely from his back injury, and he expects Randy Orton return very soon. So obviously that got people saying that maybe we see Randy Orton at Money in the Bank. Um, right now, penciled in, there's like two ideas floating around, and you can see both directions happening. He either comes back and feuds with Matt Riddle, kind of closing that RK Bro door. Or the other option, he comes back and helps Riddle. So then that leads to Gunther versus Randy Orton. Now that was supposed to be the SummerSlam thing. If we fast forward, obviously that didn't happen. But that is kind of where they're looking at either Riddle or Gunther for Randy Orton's return opponent. Now we see it's probably not Gunther. Now he still may not return yet. That could just all be, hopeful thinking. But just wanted to put that out there so our audience is aware and so we're all aware.
Why is it probably not Gunther for Randy Orton? Because
For
he didn't come
SummerSlam?
back. Well, yeah, because he didn't come back tonight.
Well, we'll talk about it at Money in the Bank.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
dumbass. Okay. Um, where the fuck was I? Dominic and Ripley had a backstage thing that I skipped. Then we had a Money in the Bank package. Then Rousey and Baszler beat Morgan and Rodriguez, which kind of makes their match later a little pointless. And the stare down prior
Well,
to that.
it was a one-on-one match.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No.
And also, I just wanted to point out, just to go back a little bit, I will say the Riddle promo thing, that was a Triple H thing, a Triple H segment. And then Ronda versus Raquel, I would put that as a Vince McMahon thing segment because the match ended in a roll up, and that's a Vince special. However, the champion did not lose this match. That would have really made it a Vince special. But I would still chalk this up as a Vince thing. So, opening segments of Raw, we get one Vince segment, I would say, and it's this match.
Okay.
But, you know, but Vince McMahon heavily rewrote this show. He was his fingerprint. These were the words that were said. His fingerprints is all over this show this week.
Okay. After that, we get a Finn Balor promo. Laughed at him years ago when he had to give the title, the Universal title, away. So he's angry about that. That's all. Then Rollins had a promo. He's going to beat Balor. Then, in the midst of him saying that he's going to beat Balor, Balor attacks. Rollins fights back, but Balor ends up getting the upper hand. And Balor starts attacking the ribs. He goes to get a chair. Carmelo Hayes, who's sitting in the at ringside, he grabs the chair from Balor, gives Rollins enough time to recover and chase off Finn Balor. And then we find out that they're Hayes and Balor are going to have a match later.
Yep. Triple H segments for the Balor promo. Triple H segment for the Rollins promo.
After that, The Miz beat up Tommaso Ciampa.
We'll put that as a Vince segment. So they're supposed to have a match. Miz attacks him from behind, beats him down. So the match never starts. And we're continuing the Ciampa versus Miz feud, I guess.
Yeah.
Why?
On
I don't know.
one hand, it was good because we didn't see Miz and Tommaso Ciampa wrestle again. But on the other hand, it's bad because we're going to see him wrestle in the future, probably more than once.
Yes, and this was a Vince thing. And also, Tommaso Ciampa dyed his beard. So that's also a Vince thing. Because Vince hates gray hair.
All right. After that, Owens and Zayn confront Imperium. Earlier, they snapped, or earlier, one of the ladies asked Riddle about his challenging Gunther, and Riddle talks his shit. Imperium interrupts. Gunther kicks him in the face and says, "I accept." So then later on, Zayn and Owens, they interrupt Imperium having a conversation to say that they're not happy with what they did to Riddle. And they really don't say anything. Kaiser says, "Ring yang ra." Owens and Zayn clack their titles together. And ultimately, Zayn challenges Gunther for a match later.
Yep. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
Triple H segment.
After that, Dominic beat Akira Tozawa. He needed a challenger or something for his caliber. I don't care.
I don't know whose segment that was. We can call it a Vince segment. It was a squash match. And yeah, so Dominic, so to touch on the little promo for between him and Cody. Cody called him a little boy, and he's not ready to step up to what he's getting into, and he's going to prove it at Money in the Bank. Right? This is the big leagues, and you're not ready for it. And he quoted Cat in the Hat, and he said, "You know why I quoted Cat in the Hat? Because you're a boy." So Dominic, he was upset about this, and he said he went to Adam Pearce. He said, I want a warm up match for Cody Rhodes, and I want someone who's like, I want the biggest and baddest, fiercest competitor out there, so I can show Cody that I'm ready." And Pierce is like, "Well, who might that be?" And then Dominic said, "I'll get back to you." So now we fast forward to the match. Out comes Akira Tozawa because he's the biggest, baddest. Great little touch on that, by the way.
Okay.
I want the biggest and baddest, and then I picked like opposite of all that.
Right. So after Dominic beat Tozawa, with Ripley's help, by the way, the
Makes
Viking
it even
Raiders.
better.
Yes. The Viking Raiders have a little backstage segment. They vow to hurt the Alpha Academy, and the deer says it's going to be beautiful. So we have more of Viking Raiders and Alpha Academy to look forward to.
Yes. It's like they're. I mean, it's nothing serious. They're just like the comedy segment. I don't know. They're they're the sports entertainment.
I guess. So they're just, I don't know.
Like it's either this or the 24/7 title. So I'd rather have this.
I just know that there's a group of people that that came back. Oh shit. That have been less than impressive, and the Viking Raiders are among them.
Yeah, they've settled into a jobber role. They're just a jobber tag team. But I will say it's not bad looking at Maxine Dupree each week.
I guess if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, I'm into it.
if you're if
Oh, I,
you're into
I missed her on the tribute. Anyway.
if you're in those into those flawless blondes with big racks, whatever, that's your that's your sort of thing.
Yeah.
I skipped the women's Money in the Bank hullabaloo.
Uh, yeah, it's nothing to it. They were each talking about how they were going to win.
Yeah,
Uh, Zelina Vega was the main part of this promo, so that tells you everything you need to know about it.
yeah. All right. New York's own Zelina Vega. So then Carmelo Hayes has a backstage segment. He's facing Finn Balor later. That's
Yep.
really all he said. After that, Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, they talk shit. Really nothing to that. Then we get Gunther versus Sami Zayn. And this was, I mean, it's a typical match. Gunther was the stronger one. Sammy sold his ass off. Sammy did a lot of comeback spots. And I love how protected Gunther's chop is.
As it should
Everybody,
be.
well, everybody does a chop, right? But he's one of the only ones that like when he chops them, they like immediately just crumple, and I don't know. It's different when he does it. But I don't like that just like overnight Gunther became someone who needs like numbers to win.
Yeah, I'm kind of off put about that whole thing. Now, I did notice.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So, yeah, I'm seeing a pattern here, so we can talk about that later.
I noticed that Zayn was distracted by a man coming out in crutches. So championship material there. Owens was on commentary, and it really drove me nuts. He he tries to be funny, and it's just you can tell he's trying to be funny, and it's just not funny.
I don't know. I enjoy him. I don't like
Okay,
the little road rage thing he has,
you
but
do.
I said I don't.
It's annoying.
Yeah, he should be fight Owens fight, but right now he's road rage.
Yeah. Now I do say earlier when Gunther or Kaiser said that he already taught Owens a lesson, and then Owens kept saying, "I learned nothing. Learned nothing."
Yeah, I
I
didn't
thought
learn
that was
no lesson.
I thought that was funny. They got a chuckle out of me. So the sleeper hold spot, I thought that should have been the finish. Where Sammy did something. I can't remember what he did, but Gunther got him into a sleeper hold.
Wasn't
But it
it
wasn't.
towards the beginning of the match?
It was closer to the middle.
Okay,
Um, but instead, Gunther had to win via distraction.
of course.
And then post match, they were beating up Sammy, and I think Kevin came in, and then the numbers game overwhelmed Kevin, and then Riddle came out and chased everybody off. And I think Kaiser got stunned, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. Kaiser was the last man there.
good deal. So Cody is inexplicably backstage with his dog. He's just there, just smiling.
Wait a minute.
what?
We got the debut
Oh, my
of
bad.
Cody's dog.
Well, before that, Finn Balor beat Carmelo Hayes
Clean.
clean.
And people had a problem with that. Oh, why is the NXT champion the NXT champion losing to the guy who's challenging for the second biggest prize in the industry, so they say. The equal title to Roman Reigns' title. The guy who's challenging for that title. Why is he losing to the developmental champion? I mean, why is he beating the developmental champion clean?
Well,
This is what people talk about. It's like,
wasn't it like
what
a
are you even
glorified
saying?
squash match though?
Uh,
Wouldn't you say? I don't think Carmelo got that much offense.
I think, yeah, I think it was just more so to like show what he can do. Like when he hit the fadeaway, it got a reaction from the crowd.
Okay.
You know,
I just think it was the way that he was presented. I don't think people so much have a issue with him losing as I don't know. I think
no, that's what it was.
okay.
Why is the champion losing? Well, he is the developmental champion, so let's remember that.
That's true.
I don't care what you tell me. That's developmental.
Okay, so yeah, Cody's inexplicably backstage with his dog. Um,
So
the
yeah,
lady
Pharaoh
at
makes his WWE Raw debut. Pharaoh,
and he and Cody's just on a knee with his dog with this grin on his face in the middle of what looks like a walkway.
Pharaoh
But
is the name of the dog,
that's fine. So that means like his coworkers and other wrestlers are just walking past him while he has this big dumb grin on his face with his dog.
which is named Pharaoh. You go put some respect on Pharaoh's name.
So after that, we get a bloodline package, and then after that, we get uh, um, Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest,
Without
and
Pharaoh.
without the dog, Rhodes wins. There wasn't really a whole lot to it. I think Dominic and Ripley came out, but yeah,
Yeah, I didn't even. I mean, this was another why'd they book this match type deal, but
right. It made no sense. Why is because they're clearly pushing Priest, and obviously Cody's the golden boy,
yes, and they both have a match coming up.
and they both have a big high profile match coming up. So yeah, I think they obviously Cody was going to win this, so it did Priest no favors.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw, and then we go to SmackDown. You want to sing the SmackDown theme for me?
Uh, I don't know this. It's losing me, isn't it? Aerosmith. Are you ready? I can't get up that high right now.
God damn it!
You gotta give me some time. I'll get up there. Give me a couple weeks. I'll get you.
All right, so Owens
Are you
and
ready for
Zayn.
a good time? Is the
I think okay.
But it's an Aerosmith. He's that dude has that high ass voice.
Owens and Zayn versus Pretty Deadly open up our Friday night evening. Now, Zayn and Owens were all over Raw.
Yep.
And the first thing we get to see is Zayn and Owens open SmackDown. So I just want to say thank God that we have a brand split.
Well, they're the champions, so they're the undisputed tag team champions, so they are logically free to appear on both shows.
Yeah, but I
So,
mean, What's the point of having a brand? What is the point of having a brand split if you're just going to feature like one or two guys on both shows?
Well, there's other talent. I'm
There is
saying
other talent. That's my point.
they're the champions. They're featured on
I
both
get
shows.
what you're
Written
saying,
into that.
but they were all over one television. They were all over 3 hours of wrestling already.
Yeah, they're gonna be all.
Anyway, um, Pretty Deadly's little bait and switch thing, brilliant. I liked it. Owens hurt his ankle in the middle of the match doing his little cannonball thing. How that makes sense, I don't know, but it affected him up until the finish when he ran full speed and did a stunner. And Zayn and Owens won. And we have yet another NXT team that just seems to lose.
Well, that was their first loss,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a title match to a team they were not going to beat.
Which means I know that, but I think they shouldn't have been in the match. Then, if they're not going to win,
Well,
or you're not going to properly build them up.
that was just political.
Okay.
You know, they're in the UK. Got to get the UK talent on there.
So after that, we get a replay of last week's match with Solo and Sheamus. Why, I don't know, but we got it anyway. Then we got Adam Pearce with the lady backstage. Um, the Brawling Brutes, they interrupt. Sheamus goes, What's the crack? What does that even mean?
I don't know, but I love it. I love when he says it. What's the crack, fella? I don't even know what it is. It's his little slang.
Well, Ridge
Irishman.
really wants to get his ass beat by Solo. He really wants to get his ass kicked. But Adam Pearce says, No, Ridge, you're facing Austin Theory instead. And Ridge is like, Oh, well, if I beat him, do I get a title opportunity? Yes. If you beat Austin Theory, you get a title opportunity. So I'm thinking, man, we have a feud between fucking Ridge Holland and Austin Theory to look forward to.
Yep, it was a Vinnie Mac special, a championship contenders match.
And then we have the match. And I got to be honest with you, I was not feeling it.
Well, I was just about to put a I was seriously just about to on our show put a bolo out for Austin Theory because I don't remember the last time I actually saw him in the ring or even on the show. So I was
Right. He always seems to get fucked on the pay per views, too. Like, I don't. What was he on Night of Champions?
no, he had that match like the SmackDown before.
Okay. So, yeah, he just seems to be the odd man out. Always. Even Seth's title's ahead of his. That should tell you something.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we could really say they kind of wasted the whole John Cena thing
A little bit. I
because
mean,
he got that big victory over John Cena and
that was
seems
flat to
to
begin with, though.
yeah, but now there really seems to be nothing for him. Like they're going nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't even think he needs to be champion anymore. They need to put someone else. It doesn't help that every week he has to win by some kind of interference. Now this week he didn't, but he
Right.
did.
Well, and just like you said, Theory punches Ridge Holland in the throat, and then he hits that rolling little drop kick thing, and he pins Ridge. So
Yes,
much
in
for
like 3 minutes.
so much for that title opportunity.
Yes. Now, for some reason, because people, oh, I don't know, they thought that Austin Theory had debuted a new finisher, and that's what it was. That little rolling drop kick was his new finisher.
He's been doing that forever.
Yes.
He does
So
that like 5 times a match. What the fuck? Do people not pay attention?
I'm telling you, this is the internet.
Okay.
So to explain, Rich Holland was selling the injury from the Samoan Spike last week. So when Austin Theory drop kicked him, he hit him in the throat. That was enough for the victory. So that's why the finish was a drop kick. Are you keeping up, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, and by the way, let me go ahead and get it in now. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below what your favorite match from Money in the Bank was. And thank you for the now 4 followers on Spotify,
Yay.
because we are over there as well. If you like the audio only thing, and that's it. And links to everything will be in the description below, next to the like button.
So moving on, we have a backstage segment. They love the backstage segments. Karrion Cross still wants to feud with AJ fucking Styles. And then he says some shit about how he only beat AJ with 3 moves. And I'm thinking, did he not? He lost the first match, right?
Yes, he did.
He lost a match. And then he said, he didn't beat him with 3 moves. What is he talking about?
Well, I didn't go back and count, but I think AJ also mentioned that. Oh, you beat me in 3 moves.
AJ's retarded too.
Hmm. I
So
think they
yeah,
mean 3 moves like from the point that he tagged in.
I don't know, man.
When he hit the, he got the, anyway.
Well, I
I
thought
think
they
that's
had
what
a
it means,
singles
from the
match
point he
too,
tagged in.
didn't they?
Yeah, a couple weeks before when Cross lost to him.
Okay, so they had the singles match, then they had the tag match, and then they had another singles match, right?
No, they're building to the next singles match,
Okay, which one did Cross win?
the tag match.
Okay, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. That was definitely not more than those. What is he talking about?
That's what I'm saying. I think they're counting from the time he tagged in at
No,
the end.
no, it's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, because when he tagged in at the end,
I'm gonna
when
go back and I'm gonna count.
he got the sleeper hold, he got the cross hammer, and then he got that new finisher thing.
Oh, if I end up clipping this, I'm gonna put what the number is.
You're gonna count it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking count it. Anyway, after that we got a bloodline package, and after that, Bailey beat Shotzi. Shotzi was challenging Bailey for her spot at the Money in the Bank match. IYO Sky distracted or helped Bailey with the distraction properly. Bailey should probably learn how to distract from IYO, because Bailey can't distract worth a shit, or IYO would be champion right now. So after the match, Shotzi confronts IYO and Bailey backstage, and it gets to the point where Shotzi starts hitting IYO and Bailey, so naturally both girls beat the shit out of Shotzi. And then Bailey cut Shotzi's hair. So now we have a hair versus something match coming
With Shotzi.
with a Shotzi.
We're we're building a feud, this serious feud with Shotzi. And I want to go back and say, everybody who was throwing a fit last week, oh, Vince cut Shotzi. Well, there you go. Now you got your 3 minute match. That was nothing.
Ugh. And we have
And
more
then
more Shotzi to look forward to.
they want to go on commentary. First of all, never mind. They want to go on commentary and talking about, oh, can you imagine what'll happen if Shotzi gets in the Money in the Bank? She's such a kamikaze. Oh, we saw what happens last year, and it wasn't good. She was botching left and right, tried to run up the ladder and fell in the rungs. Like, if memory serves correctly, at that point, after that match, people didn't even want to see her wrestle anymore. They wanted her to leave WWE. So why are we referencing? Oh, what if Shotzi gets in the match? Keep her out of ladder matches.
I just know Shotzi's bad. And that stupid green hair's got to go. Well, thank God that Bailey's doing something about it. Hopefully. So after that, we get the Walla effect, and I skipped it, and then I skipped faster when I saw that the guest was Logan Paul. And essentially, it was a Money in the Bank showcase. All the contestants come out, ends in a brawl, yada yada yada.
I got you. I'll fill in the gaps here.
Yep, go ahead.
So yeah, Grayson Waller effect, Logan Paul. He's talking about how he's gonna win Money in the Bank. Of course, the crowd booed at that, and he says, "Oh, why are you booing me? You've seen me against every champion in WWE." Um, and he says once he wins Money in the Bank, maybe he'll cash it in on Seth Rollins and run back WrestleMania, or maybe he'll finish the job against Roman Reigns. And he said, or maybe I don't cash it in. Here's a key moment here. Maybe I don't cash it in and I just smack LA Knight in the face with it. QLA Knight. Yeah. To a monstrous reaction from the crowd. Now we're in London, so it's amplified, of course. But the building almost blew off the joint when that music hits. You know, and I just want to say he's one of the only guys that when the music starts, people get up off of their feet. You got Roman Reigns, you got Cody Rhodes, I guess you got Seth Rollins, LA Knight. Well, you could put Dom in there too, Dominic.
Yeah, LA Knight is the reaction he gets is very special.
Yeah, and it seems to grow more and more each week, which I
Yeah,
which I
absolutely.
think WWE is kind of at first they didn't want to play into it, but I think they're kind of playing into it now.
We'll see. That's a see now that could be a double edged sword too. Because remember when they played into fucking Zack Ryder's popularity?
You talking about before or after the John Cena cucking him and Kane throwing him off the stage?
That's after he was popular. They're like, oh, you want to be popular? Okay. You want to get yourself over and grab those brass rings? All right.
Yeah, like oh, we're gonna show you. That was just one of the worst burials.
Yeah, it was atrocious.
I'm like, what did I just watch? But yeah, that's all I wanted to point out. There is LA Knight continues to get over and over, and that little line there kind of even further hints that we're getting LA Knight versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam.
That's a shame. I hate to skip a LA Knight match. You'll have to tell
Well,
me how it is.
I'll tell you.
All right. So from the brawl, the Money in the Bank hullabaloo, um, we get Mouthpiece McFingerbang versus Escobar versus LA Knight. And obviously, LA Knight is the star. Like everything he does, he gets a reaction. He does the yeah. He kind of reminds me of Stone Cold. I'm sure that I remember the comparison being made before, so I know I'm not the only one um, that said that, but it really came out tonight or Friday.
Yeah, that's what we just talked about that a couple weeks. Zelina Vega said, "Oh, if you spent less time trying to be a budget Rock and Stone Cold, so
When he
I mean,
wasn't
it works
like
for him.
he wasn't impersonating Stone Cold though. He was just doing Stone Cold shit, which is
Yeah, he's
completely different. He wasn't doing the middle fingers and the beer drinking or anything. He was like how he did the stomps and yeah. That was I don't know, that's just the Stone Cold swagger.
yeah. When he walks to the ring, he kind of has. He reminds me of like the Stone Cold strut almost,
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah.
And I did think, because we used to do the, well, not we, but we as in the fans, and we have to listen to it. They used to do the what chant. Everything got a what chant.
It still does every now and
Maybe,
then.
maybe the yeah chant is going to replace that.
Oh, I don't know, man.
It'll be good until it's not, until they overplay it.
Yeah. Till you get oh,
Yeah.
oh god.
And he stands in the middle of the ring with his hands out so they can just chant yeah.
Yeah, for 10 minutes every single fucking time.
Yes.
So anyway, Mouthpiece pins Escobar to win the triple threat match. After that, we get AJ Styles backstage. He too wants to continue his feud with fucking Karrion Kross for some reason. He accepts the challenge. He calls Scarlett a poodle and says Mia Yim will handle her. And Mia Yim comes from the shadows and has this serious looking face.
Yeah.
And all I can say is fuck this shit right in its smelly, unwashed asshole. I do not want to fucking see Karrion Kross and AJ Styles. And I certainly don't want to see Scarlett and Mia Yim. I don't I want to see Scarlett in a centerfold. I don't want to see Scarlett in a wrestling ring.
Pretty much. It's dating yourself, but another dated reference. You mean you want to see her on OnlyFans?
Whatever.
That's the thing now. Can
No,
you
because you have
imagine
to.
someone not knowing how the internet works and paying for OnlyFans? I mean, if you do it, that's on you, fans. We don't pay for OnlyFans around here. We know how the internet works.
So after that depressing backstage segment, we get Asuka versus Charlotte. Right off the bat, we find out that Belair bought a ticket and she's fanning herself with it and she's waving it around like a child. I don't know. I
She
don't
has to
know.
let everybody know.
She was she was like that, that one type of person in the movie theater that you just want to get kicked out, but you're too afraid.
Yeah.
Because what if she has a boyfriend that's just like her, but bigger?
And there's a point where right before Asuka attacks her, I swear she was still waving that ticket.
She was. She was waving it up until that point.
Yeah. Like they're fighting right in front of her and she's in there waving the ticket like, okay, we get it. You have a
Yeah.
ticket.
Yeah. And they even said on commentary, like, oh, all she's doing, she's waving it in the competitor's face.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the match, the crowd was chanting for Asuka for what that's worth. They certainly weren't chanting for her at the end, but when this match started, they were all on Asuka's side. I thought they were trying to go way too fast, and this was kind of a sloppy match for both of these ladies. Like they were doing kicks that just not only looked bad, but they just didn't look believable, and they were sloppy.
Yeah, this wasn't their best match. There was also a moment where like Charlotte did the moonsault to the outside and like completely missed.
Yeah, it was really bad. So then, Asuka is outside the ring. She's in the by the barricade where Belair is sitting. Charlotte goes to pursue Asuka. Charlotte goes to do the big boot. Asuka then grabs Belair, and I think they were trying to make it look like Belair got kicked by Charlotte, but you can tell that she missed by a mile. But
Just goes in line with how off this match was.
yeah. So Asuka and Charlotte, they brawl for a little bit. Then Belair regains her composure. She attacks Asuka. Then Charlotte gets in her face. This is so stupid. Awkwardly gets in her face. She she does this thing where she's looking like not making eye contact. Like you know what I'm talking about? Where not making eye contact, just looking elsewhere. This is my match.
Yeah.
And then Oscar, or not Oscar, Bianca says, "This isn't about you. This is about Oscar." Which I stood up and applauded. I said, "Thank you, Bianca. It should be about the fucking championship." And then of
Yes.
course Charlotte says, "This is my match." And then Belair says, "This ain't about you. Everything ain't about you. Don't put your hand in my face." And then
Yes, because at this time Charlotte did the talk to the hand thing where
right.
she has her hand in her face.
So then, I'm gonna have fun with Bianca. I will say that. Um,
I can tell. It's already starting. I gradually heard it getting more and more.
um, so Bianca finally finally has enough of the Charlotte putting her hand in her face, and she just slugs Charlotte. Charlotte slugs her back, and then she goes for a spear. Belair gets out of the way, and Charlotte hits the steel steps. It's at that point Belair does her stupid little move to Asuka on the table, the announce table. And then she does her stupid little move to Charlotte on top of Asuka on top of the announce table. And it's worth noting that the announce table did not budge at all.
Did not. And I think the reason she did it twice was to have it break at least once.
Yes.
And it
And
didn't.
it did not. It did not budge. It didn't even like shake a little.
No.
I don't think I don't think that she disrupted the pens on the announce table.
It's always weird that sometimes the announce table crumbles and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if they switch it out or what they do there because some people stand on it. Obviously, if it's if it's one of the ones that explodes, they're not going to be able to stand on it. Or maybe it's all the same and they just have to hit it right for it to explode.
Well, I think they doctor it up so it does fall away easier. Um, but you gotta think there's a 300-pound dude standing on it versus 150-pound lady.
Yeah, the ladies definitely have a hard time going through that table.
Yeah, they have a hard time being thrown through thrown them through the table too.
Yeah,
So obviously we're gonna get a triple threat, and
we already said that. No
we did
surprise
say that.
here.
And I just think that not Charlotte, Asuka has. I don't know. They might as well just taken her face and wiped her ass with it.
She was an afterthought.
So after that, we get Roman, who still has 3 belts, by the way.
He does. He does.
Comes out, says that he allowed the Usos to come out and say that they're the ones, but he's the one. He's the only one. He's the best. He's the goddamn tribal chief. And he also says that he's the only one that loves the Usos. He's the only one that's given them opportunity. And he says that he'll give the Usos one more chance if they come out and beg for forgiveness, acknowledge him, and apologize.
And bend the knee.
and bend the knee. And without fail, the Usos come out. Jimmy says that they're past the part of apologizing. And he says, well, what happens if you lose? Which seems to be like the line everybody says to Roman in their feuds. What happens if you lose? What are you going to do when you lose? How are you going to handle it after I beat you?
Well, that's the whole thing. This whole thing is about Roman being untouchable and not losing. So,
It's always about that, though. I mean, just it's not original. So then Jimmy says, "What? When's the last time you've been pinned? What? 3 years ago? Well, when's the next time? Tomorrow. When you lose, you ain't gonna be the tribal chief anymore. I don't want to be the tribal chief. Jay don't want to be the tribal chief. There's one guy who's got our vote." And you know what? They both turn and they look at Solo. Then Roman starts to fake laugh.
well, not fake
Then
laugh. It's the Roman laugh.
it's a fake laugh.
Like he was, that was the laugh he was doing last week when Jimmy was like, he's like, I've been main event Jey Uso, and it's all because of him. And he's back there laughing.
Yeah,
And he's like, you know what, you out. So it's the
fake laugh.
tribal chief laugh. Of course. Well, yeah, go ahead.
So then Roman and Solo eventually have a little stare down. Um, it was actually kind of nice. Solo, the whole time he was standing with his arms folded, and then as soon as he makes eye contact with Roman, he like slowly unfolds his arms and puts them to his side, and his fingers just start to twitch. And then Roman he slowly takes a step back, but then he goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Why are you bringing this stuff up?" It was really nice. Very subtle, but it was very nice. I still don't think Solo should be the one to beat Roman, but I did like that little moment.
Well, it is interesting to see where we're going with that.
Um, yeah, Jay gets on the apron, and he pie faces Roman, and they all brawl. And that brings us into Money in the Bank. You want to sing the Money in the
Here
Bank
comes
theme
the
song? There
money.
you go.
Money, 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 money. There
Dollar, 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 dollar.
you go. I wish if I had it queued up, I would have played it, but we're past that.
Well, we would have probably got copyright strike.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time.
That's true. All right. So overall, this was probably the best pay-per-view of the year so far for me.
Interesting.
Would say you.
Um, it was good,
Okay.
but I think there's recency bias. I still think night one of WrestleMania was better.
I don't consider that I consider that the previous year. Because
Oh,
WrestleMania is the Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah. In that case, then yeah, this would be the best. Well,
But I mean, if
even
we're counting
then,
WrestleMania, you're right. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, even then. Now I know you didn't like it, but Backlash was pretty good.
Uh, which one was Backlash?
Bad Bunny.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that shit. No,
I know that's what I said. I know you didn't like it, but
that was awful.
it was a special night. Bad Bunny, Savio Vega, Calito. I don't know why
I
I'm
mean,
doing
those are nice little
accents.
moments, but no. And then it had Cody doing that 20-minute struggle just to pass out anyway.
Yeah.
And then
No, that's the wrong one.
I thought you said it was Backlash.
Yeah, the Cody struggle one was at Night of Champions.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was the one he did the roll up. He was in the what was it? What was he in? I
You're
don't know. He
right.
did a
You're
roll
right.
up.
He was in the Kimura and he did that little. He basically did the Lashley finish.
Yeah, and then
Okay,
ran like a
you're
scalded
right.
dog.
Yeah, I'm looking at this card. And no, it doesn't come close to me.
Fair enough.
Got Seth freaking Rollins versus Omos. Belair versus IYO Sky, which was great because IYO's awesome, but the wrong person won. You got Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. I don't even remember that match.
I don't either.
Rhea Ripley versus New York's own Zelina Vega. You got the
That was a
abortion
special
that was
moment.
Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. And now
Match of the year
now
candidate.
Damian Priest could potentially be the world heavyweight champion. Let that
Yep.
sink in.
Well,
Stupid.
that was the match of the year candidate.
How?
You just have to
No, you
be
don't have
there.
to.
You have to understand.
I'm sorry. What?
I said you just have to understand.
Understand what?
I'm not trying to change your mind.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no. What?
saying
Tell me what do I have to understand?
you don't. You don't. I'm just
What do I
saying.
have? What don't I understand?
The
Tell me what
Bad
I
Bunny
need to
appeal.
understand that I don't understand.
The Bad Bunny appeal. That's what it is.
The shitty rapper.
The appeal.
He has the
See,
same appeal as
well, why
Snooki
would,
did.
let's just forget about Bad Bunny. Let's talk about Money in the Bank. There's no sense in talking about Bad Bunny.
Anyway, this was the best match or pay per view of the year so far. We start off with the men's Money in the Bank contest, which is good because that means that whoever wins, there's a lingering chance that they could cash in at some point this evening, depending on when, um, presumably Rollins would be wrestling.
Well, and yeah, that was one of the things I said that I hoped happened.
Yeah.
At least give the illusion that we're going to get cash in.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I like the placement of where this match was.
So there really wasn't too much to it. It was a standard multi-person ladder match. Everybody started off beating on Logan Paul. Paul tried to form an alliance with Damian Priest, and it failed miserably. Um, Priest won, and the only thing I'll say is the way that they teased. They did a couple teases. The way they teased Knight, the way they teased fuck me, even Butch, mouthpiece McFingerbang. Um, I knew Shinsuke wasn't going to win, so there's no. But
There's no
obviously,
tease there.
yeah. But there was a tease with Logan Paul, and I honestly thought that they were going to go with LA Knight, but then I almost congratulated you. I was about to send you that text, but Priest won.
He did.
It was exciting. I'll give him that, but it wasn't anything special.
Yes, and now we already got people asking if this was the right decision.
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest winning, was it the right decision? And the only reason I say that,
Mm-hmm.
the only reason is because, and when not even talking about just like the rise of LA Knight, just that night, how the people were reacting to LA Knight. Would it have been the right moment to give him give him the briefcase, let the place freaking erupt, the building get blown off the building with the reaction. Now, of course, if you did that, then the rest of the night was going to fail in comparison.
I'd say give him a meaningful feud first. Because he had a feud with Bray Wyatt. It was awful. He feuded with various members of the New Day, and that was meh. But he hasn't had like a real proper feud.
Yes, which makes it even more special that creative's really given him nothing and he's made something out of it.
True. So what I'm saying is though, if he wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, then it's just his trajectory is he just holds on to that briefcase until whenever. But now if he gets into a program with Logan Paul, you can kind of get to know him better, get to see what he can do, get to empathize with him more. They can build him up.
Well, I was going off of the idea that yes, he's not gonna, because yeah, he win loss record wise, he's not been built to be like championship level yet. Yes, he's over with the fans, but he still like should get some wins, some high profile wins before
Although
he's like in a championship conversation.
to be fair, Priest has neither.
Well, I mean, the trajectory of Priest, and I said it a couple weeks back. I think they're building him a little bit too much here. Main event Backlash, main event Monday Night Raw, heavyweight title match. In the main event against Seth Rollins. For
But he
what
ain't
it's worth,
winning them though.
it's still a heavyweight title match.
He ain't winning.
No, but he's in that position. He
Well,
was
you gotta win to being. Eventually, you're just gonna be the Bills.
well. Butch has not been in a world heavyweight title match.
Thank God.
Santos Escobar, he's not been in a title match.
Why was he dressed
Uh,
like a raccoon?
I don't know. It's probably some heritage thing.
Oh God.
I
All
tried
right.
not to. um, Logan Paul, Ricochet. No, I think Ricochet's had a title match.
Who cares?
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago against Brock Lesnar when he got squashed and didn't get any offense at all.
Good.
Um, so yeah, outside of all that, Priest, Logan Paul, Ricochet, those are the only guys who have had a title match that were in that match. So there's at least that. He's competed for the title. So at some point they thought he was, enough of a draw, or they had enough confidence in him to put him in a title match. Yeah, he
Okay.
didn't win it, but I'm saying at least getting put in a title match is something. Like him and
Yeah,
Cody
it's
are equal.
something. It's something when one the title is treated like it's special. Yeah, it's something. But if you're positioned in a way to where you're in the spot where you're consistently losing the big moments, then no, that's not something that's degrading. Especially if one of them happens to be a non-wrestling musician.
Okay. Are you making the like it almost sounds like you're on my side saying LA Knight should have held that briefcase up at the end of this night.
I I don't know who should have. I know it shouldn't have been Logan Paul because he just had a match with Roman. I mean, he tried the best of the best, and like we saw him already do all that, and yeah, and it seems like he's going to be part time anyway. So if the idea of Seth's belt is to wrestle every day. That's not going to work out for Logan.
Yeah, Russell in the subway,
Right.
24/7 hardcore title.
I'm in Dale's backyard wrestling federation, putting up my title belt.
Yeah.
You see like just iPhone footage. Just
Yeah, got that little zoom in thing where it's all
um
grainy.
I think I wouldn't have been sad if LA Knight won. It just depends on where they're going, man.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So if LA Knight did win, like I said, he feud wise he hasn't been built up enough to be there.
Right.
But I was going under the assumption that you put money in the bank on him, or you put the briefcase on him, and then you start to build him up so he doesn't immediately cash in. Maybe you wait until like almost next year or something, and you just keep let him stack up wins, stack up wins, stack up wins. Maybe even get into some higher profile matches, like maybe go against Edge. Um, I don't know who else, Bobby Lashley. Get some high profile matches, win those clean. Now we're starting to take him more serious. And oh, by the way, he still has money in the bank. And then when he cashes in, now we can see him as a legitimate champion.
I just don't like when they use Money in the Bank as a way to. They use it as a way to elevate somebody as opposed to already having somebody elevated get an opportunity for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would have to disagree with you there.
Okay.
I think Money in the Bank, like the intention of it, should be to have a mid card guy get the briefcase, and now we can say, okay, now he's like on his path to be a main eventer, like a step up, like what the Intercontinental title used to be. Back in the
Uh-huh.
day, you get the Intercontinental title. Now you're the workhorse champion. Razor
When
Ramon,
and don't get
Bret
me wrong, I'm
Hart.
not saying that only the Roman Reigns and the Hulk Hogan should win the Money in the Bank match. What I'm saying is that somebody believable, that somebody that you're already rooting for. I don't want to be invested in somebody just because they have a briefcase.
Okay.
I'd rather already be a fan of them. I'd rather enjoy what they do and already be rooting for them.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like they use the briefcase as a reason to as a tool to get somebody over as opposed to already having somebody over get the tool.
Yeah. See, I, I don't know. I see your side. I'm on the other side of it, and I
Okay.
also think like there's people who are like, so like let's say Cody was in the match. He doesn't need a Money in the Bank to get a title match.
Absolutely not.
Like people like that, I would say they're above needing a Money in the Bank. Brock Lesnar's like the year he won it. It's like
Yep.
why did he win it? He can just literally ask for a title match and he'll get one, and it's
Right.
believable.
I think I think that's nice to do every now and then, I guess. Like, I don't know, that that time when Cena didn't have the belt for a while and he was in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, I don't think he needed it either.
He didn't need it, but I mean, every doing it when you get in the habit of like, well, Edge wins it and then Randy Orton wins it and then um Roman Reigns wins it, then Seth Rollins wins it. And you don't see any of the undercard get elevated with it.
Well, you see, that's a good point. So Edge, he was a perfect example. He was a mid card guy.
But he was already
He was
super
like,
over. He's my prime example. He was already
My
over. He was,
example. That's my example.
but it's my example too. He was already super popular. He was already super over. Everybody loved the Brood, and then he gets that Money in the Bank briefcase.
And you're like, okay, now he's next.
Right now,
That's my
that's just
example.
another step. He didn't just he didn't win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then he became like something. He didn't become something because of the briefcase. He was already something, and then he won the briefcase.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like what the King of the Ring used to be.
Yeah.
Like whoever won the King of the Ring, you can tell, okay, now they're about to put the strap to this guy.
Yep. But then I don't know, the Money in the Bank briefcase, it seems like established people win it as opposed to letting somebody that maybe not necessarily hasn't had that moment before get that moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've spent too much time on this match. It was exciting, not too special. Sounds like the wrong person won in your eyes.
Uh, I'm just asking the question.
Yeah.
It'll make good for a clip because that's the hot topic conversation right now.
I
See,
guess
that's
the
why.
good thing is that it's a good thing that they could have gone a couple different ways as opposed to just like there's one person that was going to win it, you know?
Yeah, and oh, that's what I wanted to say about. I told you I was going to talk about LA Knight later. So I think this all is like on purpose that they're cock teasing you essentially with LA Knight. I think that's all. This is all on purpose to get him more over. Yes,
Oh, of
he's
course.
getting the big reaction, but he's getting the big reaction because people think that management is not utilizing him or their management doesn't know what they have in LA Knight. And I think that's part of the ploy to get him more over
Well,
because the
anybody
more
that thinks
they,
that is stupid though. He's on TV all the time. He's in prominent. He was in a prominent feud with Bray Wyatt, regardless of how retarded it was. He was there. They've been using him.
yeah. Oh, and he's on the SummerSlam graphic. And they
Uh-huh.
kept advertising all night that he's a little downloadable character in the WWE 2K game, which I almost wanted to say. I saw that on SmackDown. I was like, did they just spoil Money in the Bank? Because they're like, oh, claim your Money in the Bank downloadable character packs or whatever the hell that is. I don't know. I'm so far out of the 2K loop. But
Well, the only issue with LA Knight right now is he's in the mid card. He needs to be in the main event. Um, sphere, tier, whatever. But anyway, any final thoughts?
oh yeah, just to finish that out. So yeah, I think this is on purpose. They're trying to do a let's keep him racking up losses or something. He's going to get more over. Almost like a Kofi Kingston or Daniel Bryan. The list goes on of those people who just keep getting, buried, and I put that in quotes, by management, only for to them to finally break out. I think this is all just a ploy from WWE. They're just playing everybody. And again, LA Knight is on the graphics. Everything you see on the commercials, LA Knight is there. Like they know what they have. They're just stringing everybody along to get him to the stratosphere. And
Okay.
that's all I want to say about that.
All right. So after the men's Money in the Bank match, we have um, Ronda Rousey, and Shayna Baszler versus No Definition Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Notice that she doesn't have her stupid haircut anymore.
Who?
There was a point where Baszler and Rousey have Baszler has a chokehold on Liv Morgan, and then Rousey gets her in an ankle lock, and then it's broken up. And Barrett says that Liv Morgan couldn't have tapped because both Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler had her in the hold. like they were both inside the ring, which makes absolutely no fucking sense because just the week prior to that, they did a double submission move against Unholy Union.
They sure did. Mm,
So there really wasn't anything to this match either. Um, the only thing of note is Shayna Baszler turns on Ronda Rousey. And it was probably one of the best turns I've seen in a while. Just me personally. Baszler chokes out Ronda, and it's one of those chokes things where Ronda passes out, quote unquote, and then 2 seconds later she's crawling around, she's fine without the assistance of, you know, somebody smacking her on the face, no smelling salts, just on her own.
well, people, there's a light choking out where you come to every without needing smelling salt.
Yeah, but
I get me and my
usually
ladies,
somebody's
we get pretty pretty risque in the bedroom, and there's some choking out and passing out, and you just come back to. I'm just kidding. Don't take me serious on that. There was a joke there. I wanted to take it, so here we go.
don't apologize for a joke.
I'm just saying I don't want people to take me serious.
If they do, they do. Fuck them. He does. He really chokes him out. He's murdered 2 of them.
Golly, well, RIP this video.
Um, where was I?
Shayna, no, Ronda, she comes back to from the
Oh
choke.
yeah. So she's crawling around. Why Shannon? Why Shannon? Why? So then No Definition Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, they smell blood. They both gang up on Rousey and they win the titles back, which makes absolutely no fucking sense as to why they did that unification match if they're going to break up the team that's going to win the next week. Literally. Does that make sense to you?
It does not.
I don't get it.
I got a lot to say about this one, so let me.
Okay. Let me just. Yeah. That's all I got. I'm pissed off for Unholy Union because they were so awesome last week and I just feel like they've been done dirty. But go ahead, all yours.
All right, this match. First of all, shout out to Liv Morgan in the ankle lock. If you know, you know. Um, when they came out in the entrance, Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey was cosplaying as Majin Buu. Or no, I thought she was Majin because she had the M on her forehead. I thought she was cosplaying as Majin Buu, but then she took her gi off, and turns out she was actually cosplaying as Vegeta,
Oh.
and it was not accurate. I just want to point that out. That was the first thing that got me a little triggered on this match. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Dragon Ball Z fan. Like I haven't seen you know every single episode or anything like that. But what I do know is her top was not accurate to having the M on the head. Those are two different versions of Vegeta. If you're gonna do the cosplay, do it right. That's
Well,
like
it doesn't surprise me that Ronda would like only get half of it right. She probably only knows Dragon Ball Z from like a couple episodes.
yeah, she went like the old school Vegeta, and then the newer school Vegeta was the one with the M on the head, but he wasn't wearing that outfit that she had on. That's old school Vegeta. That's the one who came and challenged Goku at the beginning. The one she was I don't know. I don't want to get too far
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it.
Let's go ahead and
But
move on.
hold on.
Okay.
Just this part. The one she was cosplaying was like a fusion of Majin Buu. That's why he had the M on the head.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it was completely inaccurate. That's one thing. Uh, and then did I mention? Yeah, Liv Morgan in the ankle lock. I wanted to shout that out again because That was a special moment. And I thought I missed something because I didn't understand why why Shayna turned on Ronda Rousey. I'm like, did I miss something on Raw? Did I miss something in this match? Like it seemingly came out of absolutely nowhere.
No, and the sad thing is because again, the unholy union was fucking awesome last week, and Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler were half of that, and they, to be completely honest with you, this wasn't that bad of a match. And I'm thinking to myself, are they actually getting better? And sure enough, at that point, that's when Shayna Baszler turns on him. So no, there was no there's no precursor. There was no Ronda didn't steal a victory from Shayna.
Yeah, there wasn't no like bumping or
Yeah.
not even an argument between the two.
Well,
Like they didn't even butt heads at all.
they even said when they were coming out, the commentary, well, they're friends forever.
Yeah, so just a completely left field attack, which I'm fine
Which
with.
that should have been the first clue, to be honest with you. They've done
Oh
that
yeah.
before.
Now, that was my initial reaction. Then I started to think about it. Now, obviously, this is not going to happen, okay? But it could happen. What is what was Ronda Rousey doing before she got to WWE? What is her big thing that she was known for?
Being a hottie.
Well, before that, or okay, I'll just
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
I'll
UFC.
just do
You know, UFC.
it. Ronda Rousey, before she got to WWE, her big thing was being in the UFC. Lesser of that, Shayna Baszler, before she was in WWE, her thing was in the UFC.
Was she UFC? I thought she was just Bellator.
I think she had like 4 matches in the UFC.
Okay.
She was okay. We'll just say MMA.
No, no, no.
So,
You. I mean, if she was in UFC, she was in UFC. I'm not diminishing that. It was a genuine question.
so we have two MMA fighters. Hold on. Endeavor just bought the WWE, who is also owns the UFC. So what if we're going? Now you see where I'm going with this. What if we're going Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, but in a UFC fight, a real UFC fight, not like Fight Pit. Talking about real. They go train from now. They train to SummerSlam. They got the camps. They got the mouthpiece. They got the hair braided up. They got the 9 ounce gloves. The whole shebang. We're going actual UFC fight because these are two of UFC fighters.
I see that working to a point. Um, I think the quote unquote fight itself would still be a work because I think at this
Oh,
point Ronda is past the stage in her life where she wants to get punched in the face for a living, for real.
funny you say that. There's a report floating around now, not a credible source, but there's a report something about Amanda Nunes has retired from UFC.
Oh, has she?
Yes. So there there's this rumor that Dana White, because he needs star power in the women's division, has thrown the checkbook at Ronda Rousey and she is considering going back to UFC.
Yeah, I mean she can, but she's kind of already been exposed. When
She has,
Ronda was
but
on
I think
when Ronda was on top, the women's division was still kind of a newer thing. They were still developing it, and they were getting women that were. I mean, don't get me wrong; they could still kick your ass or my ass, but they weren't, like the best of the best. They were just women fighters. But
Misha Tate.
now, yeah, now women are training just as hard as the men in some respects, and it's just different. And Ronda, she might be good at judo, but as we saw with Holly Holm, who's a kickboxer, She tore her up. Amanda Nunes, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, kicked her ass, tore her up. Ronda's older. The her competition's younger. It's I don't know. It's just not a good idea.
I'm sure it isn't, but I'm just telling you that's what there's a report starting to float around there. Um,
Isn't there always a report every now and then saying that she's going to go back?
well, this being because of that Nunez retired and they need the star power, so they think let's pull it. Let's bring in Ronda Rousey. Maybe she doesn't win, but the drawing power that I'm sure she still has to, at least for one match. Oh, Ronda Rousey makes her 7 year return to the octagon. That's a draw. And you're like people are like even Anderson Silva after he broke his leg against Chris Wildman and then he came back. That was a big moment when he came back. Um, so yeah, at least for if they do like a one more match thing, of course that will pop UFC tickets.
I
So
guess. Yeah.
maybe she wants to do that. But anyway, that's the
Did you
again that's
see
just the rumor
Ronda's
there.
last two fights?
No,
Did you see her fight against Holly Holm
yeah,
or Amanda Nunes?
no. After she lost, she was done to me. Like,
Okay,
well,
yeah,
it's over. The luster's gone.
and it wasn't that she lost; it was the way she lost. She looked like she didn't belong.
Well, Holly Holmes was putting putting them hands on her.
Yeah,
She wasn't ready for her to get boxed up like that.
Holly Holm was a little bit more cerebral, but Amanda Nunes was like a pit bull.
Yeah, I didn't see that fight.
Go, go when we're done. Go watch it. It's only a few seconds.
It ain't gonna take much time.
No. All right. So any final thoughts?
No, that's just my wild hair tinfoil hat theory that they're gonna do this and just like the amount of like buzz that would get. Oh, they're doing a UFC fight in the WWE. Of course, they would still be determined.
What if they
So
did
now
a
you got to think about like, oh well, Shayna Baszler, you're gonna go do this real fight, but you need to take the loss. You're gonna have to get your ass knocked out or whatever. You're gonna get submitted. I mean, it's just gonna have to happen. You can't be beating Ronda Rousey. But what if I beat her? No, you can't. You have to throw the fight.
what if they do like a fight pit match on like a UFC 300 or whatever?
As long as it's real. It can't be thrown out the like if you're going anything UFC related,
Mm-hmm.
like it's gotta be real. It's almost like Butterbean versus Bart Starr. And
Bart
then he got
Gunn.
yeah, Bart Gunn and he got his ass knocked out.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that whole thing. So see
Yeah.
they've done it something like that before.
That's funny. That's a classic case of a guy that wins a couple bar fights and thinks he can be a boxer.
Yeah, and he got his ass knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, that was funny.
Yeah, that was basically the Amanda Nunes and Ronda Rousey fight.
Oh my,
Yeah.
was that bad?
Yeah. There's a part where she's going down and Nunes still hits her again. It's great.
Like not yet.
Yeah. All right. So where are we at?
Gunther and Matt Riddle.
Well, Damian Priest backstage because he won, and he tells the lady to call him Senor, which that's important. And then he lists off all the belts that he can cash in on, and it doesn't matter which belt it is because he's going to win it. I
Yep.
got
He's
goosebumps.
a senior in the bank.
Yeah, whatever. Now, we have Riddle versus Gunther. Of course, Gunther, or excuse me, of course, Riddle has pigtails. So why not? And like I said earlier, I believe his nail color of choice this evening was pink, carnation pink.
There you go.
After Kaiser does his introductions, him and Vinci they go to the back, which that was a good sign. I like that. So then the match starts, and it was awesome. It, it was a Gunther match. Riddle Riddle did his chops the way that Gunther did, or excuse me, Riddle did his kicks the way Gunther did his chops. So it's kind of interesting to see, and he's again he's an MMA fighter, so it's interesting to see that a wrestler versus whatever the fuck Matt Riddle is supposed to be.
A brawler.
Um, so Riddle keeps coming at Gunther, but then Gunther ultimately uses his strength. He's overpowering Riddle. There's a part where Gunther gets mad and he just tears the tape off of Riddle's injured ankle, which I loved. They don't do that anymore. It does nothing. I can't imagine how a thin layer of tape would protect you either way. But
I
I
mean,
love
as someone who's had an ankle injury once or twice, it just keeps it stiff. So it still hurts, but it just keeps
right.
it from like I don't know moving
It
too much.
helps you. It helps you when you're walking on it. But if somebody's like using their fist
Well,
to
yeah,
hit it or kicking it,
yeah, it
like
ain't gonna do much for you there,
yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying. So theoretically, Gunther is wasting his time ripping the tape off. But however, it's such an awesome visual because it's like I see this injured part of you. I'm taking this one layer of protection that you have, and I'm going to injure you further.
yeah, it's
And it's old school.
always a great little visual, and then it just like adds to the oh shit now he's really about to get him.
The spot where Matt Riddle did a senton on a Gunther and Gunther turned it into a sleeper hold. Perfect. Perfect. Um Unfortunately they did that thing where they just they get him in a chokehold, but they don't have any like other way to get out of it other than just rolling over and getting up.
Yeah,
That's what they did. So that kind of lost points for that for me. And then at the end of the match, or the finish of the match, Gunther does something that I have never seen before in my life. He starts chopping Matt Riddle's injured ankle.
brilliant.
Brilliant. And then he gets him in, I don't even know what do you know what the hold's called?
I believe it was a heel hook,
Okay.
is what they would be calling it.
He gets him in a heel hook, and he actually gets Riddle to tap out immediately. And one, thank God that I think this feud is over. In fact, I know this feud is over. Two, Gunther's back to his traditional ways of not needing his henchmen to beat these peons that he has to share the ring with. And three, it was a fucking great match. What can you say? I hate Matt Riddle, but the motherfucker he can sell, and I like his little suplexes. Just unfortunately, he talks and he has pigtails
And painted nails.
and painted nails.
But yeah, he's he can go like serious Matt Riddle is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, That's what I was saying. I think I've seeing a pattern here. So your week to week non-title whatever, Gunther's gonna have the henchman interfere. But then when it's like a title match, when the Intercontinental title's on the line, that's when you're gonna get your pure one on one, no interference. Gunther usually is gonna win.
And I suppose I can live with that. It's just, I wish it was consistent.
Yeah, still, he shouldn't have the interference thing. Like I get it, you
No.
want to get you want to have Imperium like be part of the act, and that Imperium being without Gunther, you want to have them be like a part of the Gunther act.
Hmm.
So on week to week television, you have them interfere. But hey, what if they don't interfere and they're just badasses in the tag team division, and Imperium's just this group of purist wrestlers who don't need interference and just win their matches? Man, they're still heel for some reason because people just don't like them.
They don't like wrestlers.
Yeah, but that could be Imperium. Just we're gonna the match sacred. We're gonna get in here. We're gonna beat you. It's gonna be clean, and we're just gonna out wrestle you. That is
They can
cut and
just be
dry.
badass Europeans.
Yeah, yeah, we're just gonna out wrestle you. You
Hmm.
can't wrestle better than I can.
And the only thing heel about them would be that they're dicks.
Yeah,
I like that. I wish it was more like that as well.
but yeah, great match overall.
It was a great match.
Excellent finish.
Excellent finish, yes. Unfortunately, that was tainted by the dulcet tones of Drew McIntyre's stupid theme song. Comes out, challenges Gunther. He headbutts Gunther, and then does he do a Claymore?
We get a Claymore party.
Then he Claymores Gunther. So they're going to continue their feud from WrestleMania.
Yes. Now, no disrespect to Gunther when I say this,
You better watch it.
but
Watch it.
Drew McIntyre has been gone since WrestleMania. There's a new title that's supposed to be the top of the card of the show that he's on, and he comes back to feud with the Intercontinental Champion. Not the main title. He comes back for the mid card title. That makes no sense. Now, there was the rumors that they were going to bring him back and he was going to be heel, but I guess he didn't want to do that. So that's why he's going in for Gunther instead of Seth Rollins. But it just I don't know. It just seems ridiculous that here you are, you're coming back, you bill yourself, you're in your eye in the fans' eyes, you're a top guy, and here you are coming back and going for the mid card title.
Well, the last time we saw him was when he went after a mid card title, that mid card title. So
Right.
you could make the since he lost the triple threat match, you can make the case that he still has unfinished business with Gunther, and he wants to have a chance to beat him one on one without Sheamus being around.
That's true. But I think since he was returning, they could have moved beyond that.
If it
Maybe
would if it would have been Clash at the Castle, he went away for a while and then he comes back to feud with Gunther. I would agree with you 100%. But because he was already feuding or he was already going for that title, then he went away and he's going for that same title, the same dude. The only difference is Sheamus isn't going to be involved. So now he has a chance to do it one on one just to see if he can do it.
okay. I just thought it was a little ridiculous. But
I see what you're saying.
I can see your side too.
You're not wrong. It's just if he's already, I think he's continuing where he left off, which is my problem with it. I don't. it's already been done.
Yeah. So it looks like that's where we're going at SummerSlam. So
Yeah.
yay.
Yay.
I mean, it'll be a good match. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, McIntyre can go. It's just, and of course, Gunther gets the best out of everybody. But it's, again, we've seen it.
Yeah, I think we should have moved on. But they want to tie up the loose ends. They
Yeah.
didn't want to turn him heel for whatever reason. Maybe he's just that big of a top guy that they want to keep him babyface.
I don't know.
But it just, I don't know, seems weird that here we are. We got a new title. It's supposed to be the equal title to Roman Reigns, and you don't even go after it. Even more diminishing the importance of that title.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. What I don't see is Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio. And that's not true. I did see it. I just didn't know a better way to segue. So Ripley had a new haircut. She kind of reminded me of Luna Vachon. It's pretty cool. I'll give her that. They kind of reminded me, they being Dominic and Ripley, they kind of remind me of like a even cheaper version of Mickey and Mallory from Natural Born Killers. Just that white trash. I got you, Dominic. I'll help you win. Kick him out. I don't know.
I've never seen it, so
You never seen Natural Born Killers?
no.
Oh, well, watch that after you watch Ronda Rousey get knocked out.
I got some homework.
Yeah. So Cody wins with a Cody Cutter. Or not a Cody Cutter. What is it? The Crossroads. He wins with a single Crossroads. Maria interfered a lot. I actually enjoyed the little Alabama slam spot that Cody did, where he was doing the little circles. At first, I hated it, but then like, that's really old school wrestling.
Yeah, that's a throwback right there.
Yeah, and so Cody wins clean, no issues. More importantly, no Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, boy, was I off on my predictions on this match.
Oh yeah,
And boy, was I off. I thought Brock Lesnar was coming back, and that was just going to get Dom more and more over as a heel. But yeah, fell short on that. Cody Rhodes wins with a simplistic Cody Cutter. I'm sorry, a Crossroads.
yeah. See, I did it too.
Like, so simplistic.
Yeah, normally he does like 100 of them, but no, just one.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, Dominic did this little cowardly heel shit, and wasn't bad.
Yeah, I guess the highlights of this match was that Cody Rhodes ripped off the brace, so he no longer has a broken arm.
Yeah, magically healed.
Because he got so mad.
Yeah, like, oh, by the way, it's his arm's fully healed. Well, then why was he wearing the brace?
Yeah, they they mentioned that on commentary. Oh yeah, we talked to the doctor earlier.
Yeah,
We forgot to tell you until right now.
until right this second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But yeah, that's the takeaway from this match.
Mm-hmm.
No Brock Lesnar.
Nope.
No Dominic getting more over as a heel. You know,
I don't know about that.
I'm going to make a comparison here for Dominic. So, if you remember, I'm comparing him to Randy Orton. Let's just get it out there. He could be this generation's Randy Orton.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
No.
And I'm going to tell you why.
I'll tell you right now why he can't.
Why?
He can't wrestle like Randy Orton.
It's not about the wrestling.
Yes, it is. It's fucking wrestling, dude. That's what
let
it's
me
called.
let
Just
me
because
go.
just
Just
because you and the rest of your ilk have lowered your standards to the point where this shit doesn't have to be believable or serious looking or uh, good doesn't mean that it's still not wrestling. At the end of the day, it is wrestling. I will die saying that. Good.
okay. So Randy Orton, when he got so if we take a trip down memory lane, when Randy Orton first came into the WWE,
He was awesome.
he was pretty much not connecting with the crowd. He was seen as like just this pretty boy. Yeah, he could wrestle, but he was just like a pretty boy. He was like flirting with women here and there, telling Kelly he just used her as a hole, and he wasn't really like, okay, this guy can be the guy, or is a guy. He's a dude, you know. And then he got into this
Are you
hardcore
kidding me? He
match.
was he was in Legacy and he was like pegged to be one of the guys to begin with. He was a third generation wrestler.
Well, I'm gonna say even then he was just a pretty face.
And no,
Then
he was very good in the ring. He was Cowboy Bob Orton Jr.'s son. He already had that rub. He was in a stable with Ric Flair, Triple H, and Batista. So no, he was pegged to be championship material from the get go.
I know they pegged him as being championship material, but I saw that I still didn't believe it. And
Okay.
then specifically Backlash 2004, Foley. And it was a hardcore Falls County or whatever you want to call it match. And Mick Foley came out as Cactus Jack, and this match was the match, at least for me, and I know for a lot of the fans, this match was the match that said, okay, this guy's a dude. Like, I don't know, just the amount of punishment he went through in that match, getting the thumbtacks in his back, getting the barbed wire across his forehead, bleeding. At that point, you saw him. Okay, he is someone. He's not just a pretty face. He can get his nails dirty. Yada yada yada. That now you don't have Mick Foley now, but that is what Dominic needs right now. He's just like a pretty face. We'll say if he needs to go through something, and I'm going to tell you who it is. By the way, he needs to go through something where he basically gets his ass kicked, but he puts up enough of the fight where you see, okay, there's something here. He is tough. He is gritty. He is the next generation. Now, that person is Brock Lesnar. He needs to go and get his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar, but somehow make it enough of a fight to where, like, not 5 minute Brock Lesnar match. I'm talking about he's actually fighting back against Brock Lesnar. He actually puts some offense against Brock Lesnar. He goes through a Kimura. He goes through the F5s. He goes through Suplex City. You can even make it a hardcore match. He gets, the shit kicked out of him by Brock Lesnar. But at the end of the match, he's standing tall. Then we can say, okay, now he's a legit guy. He's a legit main eventer. I don't know why I got on that tangent, but I'm just saying there's one step to take Dominic from here to, you can't see my hands, but from here to here. And I put that parallel to what happened with Randy Orton. So he can be a modern day Randy Orton.
You okay?
See, I think about things sometimes.
I don't agree, but
You don't have to.
yeah, I don't have to. Exactly. Anything else?
Uh, nope. There was nothing really else about this match.
All right. So then we get a surprise visit from John Cena. He slurps on the fan's dick for a good 10 minutes. Then he says he wants to bring WrestleMania to London. Everybody freaks out. Then Grace Waller comes out. Chance immediately chants, "Shut the fuck up." Waller says London sucks and WrestleMania should be in Australia. And then Waller invites John Cena to be on the Waller effect at the WrestleMania in Australia that's not scheduled to happen at all, ever. And Cena denies it anyway. And then Waller attacks Cena. Cena does the F5 or FU. And that was that. Did I miss anything?
No, it was pretty much a a filler segment, I would say.
Yeah.
It's like they were
That's exactly what it was. It was a fucking filler segment. And it was just whatever. Like, after the first 3 minutes of John Cena just saying, "Oh, but you are the lifeblood and the heart and soul, and I would suck each and every one of you off." And
and jerk you if you while
yeah.
you're getting while you're waiting for your sucking, I'll jerk you.
Um, the Waller thing was whatever. I thought it was kind of funny how he wanted to. He did the little Australia thing, and then everybody called him a wanker.
Yeah, it was completely random.
Mm-hmm.
I do say shout out to Grayson Waller for two reasons. Number one, you know, just another big moment. He's in there with John Cena. You remember he just debuted on the roster a few months ago. So he's been and then he has Edge coming up. So they just keep throwing him in these segments with these main event people. Now you may be asking, why has he not wrestled any of these main event people?
Because they're
Uh,
grooming him to be the next Miz. He doesn't need to
well,
wrestle.
no, actually, because on the last night he was in NXT, he broke his leg, but they yet still called him up, and that's why he's been doing talking segments.
Mm.
Now, obviously, he took a bump tonight, so I guess he's healed. But he just said that he did an interview, and he addressed why he hadn't been wrestling. It's because he said he broke his leg against Carmelo Hayes.
And they're grooming him to be the next Miz. So you don't need to wrestle.
Well, they still have the Miz. Why would he be the next Miz?
Because the Miz is like 100 now.
Nah, Miz gonna be
Miz
there.
ain't going to be around forever.
You got another 10 years of the Miz.
The Miz might be in the Marine 10.
I still think he. Oh, I don't know.
All right. Moving on. We got the
Oh,
lady. Yep.
wait. So, the
See,
other thing I
we
wanted
need
to
to
point
think of
out.
a better system when we're done with the subjects. Then
Oh, just well, you gotta let me get my shit in too.
well, I thought I did.
I gotta get myself over. You understand?
You got you.
Don't
I
try to
got you.
put me down like Vince McMahon holding down LA Knight. Anyway,
Hurry up, goddammit.
um, the only other thing I wanted to say
Hurry up, Shelton.
was John Cena. So when Grayson Waller he came out there, he spat off his stuff. John Cena said, "Here I am out here just spending time with my friends, and you came out here and interrupt me," which was a reference to his little viral video of him, a fan trolling him. He was at dinner or lunch with his friend, and a fan decided to troll him and ask him, "You can't see me" or something stupid.
Troll him.
And John Cena
No,
said,
no, 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 no. John Cena is he's sitting at an open, like one of those restaurants where the seats are right by the sidewalk. This nerdy sounding motherfucker says, "Hey, can you do you can't see me, and Johnny Cena is like, say what? Yeah, you can't see me. Can you do that? And then Cena very cuntily goes, "Can I enjoy dinner with my friends?" That's what happened.
Yeah. So
And then
he
the guy said,
referenced
"Oh,
that.
sorry."
Yeah, the fan apologized like a bitch. But
Right.
enjoy your 3 seconds of fame because I'm sure he got millions of views off of that. So there's that.
Well, I thought they were
Was
both
it a
bitches.
win? I mean, there's times if someone's sitting down eating, you don't go up to him and like, hey, can I get a picture? Like a nerd. At least
I
catch him in the parking lot.
I get that in principle, but you got to understand that like John Cena's used to associating or socializing with people like The Rock and minor and semi major celebrities. This guy, he sees a celebrity for maybe possibly for the first time. Maybe John Cena is his idol. Maybe this is the first time in his life he'll ever get to say hi to John Cena. And the what John Cena says is, can I enjoy dinner with my friends?" That's the price of fame, motherfucker. You're a fucking millionaire.
That is
If you
not
don't
the
want
price
to,
of fame.
yes, it is. It's absolutely the
Like
price of fame.
there's
If you want to have a private dinner with your friends, then have a private section of the restaurant quarantined off like you motherfuckers usually do. Don't sit on the fucking sidewalk if you want to be anonymous. That's what he's doing. He's sitting on a fucking restaurant on the sidewalk thing. If he doesn't want to be bothered, he wouldn't be sitting there.
well, I think there's an unwritten rule that if it's like a dinner, you don't mess with them. You leave them alone.
Well, if
Even you catch them going to the
again,
car.
this might be the only time this motherfucker has a chance to say hi to John Cena,
He
his
wasn't even
idol.
eating at the restaurant. He was just passing by. Like they
Because
force us. You're not even
because it
paying
was
customer.
open. It was where he was sitting. That's where he was. He was sitting literally right by the sidewalk.
So
It wasn't like the dude went into the restaurant and fucked with him. He was literally walking by the sidewalk. John Cena is on the sidewalk seat. He asked him something. John Cena was a cunt. The dude apologized, and for some reason, the fan was lambasted for it.
well, because there's times you have. I was making
I
like a
agree. I
look.
agree. There's times like when you see a man like with his family or something, but when you see John Cena with a group of dudes,
Then you
it's not
really
like
should.
he's, huh?
Like then you really shouldn't go up to him. He's like eating. You don't go up to him. Um, and I'm going to tell you something here. So if you remember when we were in high school and we were in the mall, we were walking in the mall, and who did we see? The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. Did we go over there? Hey, can you do the gyration thing? Which we didn't do any of that. We just said, hey, look, there's Jeff Hardy, there's Matt Hardy, and that was the end of it. We didn't like run over there. And what were they doing, by the way? They weren't like doing anything. They were just shopping.
I
And
guess, yeah, I
we
guess
just pointed it out, and that was it. We didn't try to go get a picture. We didn't try to go get an autograph. It was just, hey, look, there's the Hardy Boys, and that
you
was it.
can't you can't expect people to have the same standard as you though. Now I get it when like if you were taking a piss or something, yeah, okay, maybe let the guy shake off first. But
Yeah, looking over the stall. Hey, look.
if you clearly see John Cena, he's with a woman and he's with children, like you can ascertain that that's his family. But if you see John Cena with a group of his boys, his friends, like he said, again, this might be the only time you ever run into John Cena. You can say whatever you want to him.
Uh, and also, you can do the selfie thing. They do that nowadays, where you take a selfie of yourself, and then in the background you got the celebrity. They can do that nowadays. You don't have to. Why are you talking to him? Hey, can you do this? You can't see me thing, you little nerd.
He was a nerd. I will say
I
that.
thought I really thought he was trolling because I didn't hear the whole clip. It
No,
sounded
he's
like he was trying to say, because there's a whole meme thing about you can't see me and John Cena. Like, oh, there's John Cena. Where? I can't see him. Ugh.
no, he
I
just
thought it
said,
was
"Hey,
something like that.
can you go out? You can't see me." And then John Cena say, "What? Can you do that? You can't see me? How about can I have lunch with my friends? Not family. He didn't say family. Not parents. Not Make a Wish kids. His friends." And he's on the sidewalk thing. And if you want to be a celebrity, if you want to have all these privileged positions, that's the price of it. If you don't want to be bothered, either fucking eat at home or have one of them little sections of the restaurant quarantined off.
So you're
Don't
saying
sit.
you can't tell people I don't want to be bothered? Oh, you don't get that privilege. You can't have privacy in public.
Don't be a cunt
You
about it.
can't you can't you can't go out and enjoy yourself because you made a few
You can
movies.
go out and
This
enjoy
was,
yourself.
by the way, this was the actor. This is not you can't see me wrestler John Cena.
You can absolutely go out and enjoy yourself, but you can't be a cunt when somebody runs into you and recognizes you. And if you want that privacy, and um, if you just want to not be bothered, don't put yourself in the fucking. If you look at the restaurant, there's one little box. It looks like there's two chairs in that whole restaurant that are sidewalk seating. John Cena chose those chairs, so
Maybe
of
that's
course,
where they told him to seat. Maybe they were understaffed and he's like, "Oh, we only have a table over there because
please, John Cena
the
could have said,
it's the only open table we have
I
right
don't
now."
want to sit by the sidewalk shit." John Cena's not a dumbass. He says stupid shit, but he's not a dumbass.
Oh, I gotta sit at the back because I don't want some little geek coming up to me saying, "Oh, can you do to not see me?"
He clearly doesn't.
Some virgin there. All right, let's go on.
Yeah. So we have the women's Money in the Bank match. IYO Sky, Trish Stratus, Bailey, Zoe Stark, Becky Lynch, New York's own Zelina Vega, and did I say Trish Stratus? Or is that it? That's
That's it.
it.
That's the last one.
Okay. This was just a weaker version of the men's Money in the Bank match. Um, However, they did have a good finish here as well. Um, Becky Lynch and all right. How do I?
I don't
You
know,
want
but
to go ahead? You want to set this up?
I don't know where you're going with it yet. But before you do, Becky Lynch was cosplaying as Rogue, and it was accurate. So there you go. Or maybe she was Phoenix. I don't know. But she was definitely an X-Men character. I'm thinking Rogue, and it was accurate.
It wasn't
Accurate
accurate because
color.
she's not a superhero.
And Ronda Rousey's not a Super Saiyan.
She's close enough. She's closer to being a Super Saiyan than Ronda or than Becky Lynch is to being a fucking X-Men.
Except for the fact that Super Saiyans are male, and I know it's 2023. Never mind. Yeah, she's almost a Super Saiyan. Go ahead.
Trish's little head scissor things were awful. There was a part of the match where Trish and Zoe get Becky Lynch out on the floor. They're beating her up. Then they put handcuffs on her, but they don't quite get the handcuffs on. Becky breaks free. I don't know where the other girls are throughout all this because it seems like it goes on forever, but whatever.
Yeah, that whole thing lasted a long time.
Yeah, it was just them. It was all three of them. And the
Yeah,
other, like Zelina Vega didn't do anything. Io didn't do anything. I didn't see Bailey. And then as soon as they were done, it was like, okay. Then Zelina Vega tries to get the briefcase, and the other girls snap into action because I guess we're done with that. Fast forward, we got Becky Lynch and Bailey. They're climbing the ladder together. IYO Sky, she jumps in, grabs both Becky Lynch and EO, or not EO, Bailey's arm, pulls him through the ladder, and takes the handcuffs that were on Becky Lynch's wrist from earlier, and puts Bailey and Becky Lynch together. Then, to add insult to injury, she climbs over Bailey to get the briefcase to get, and EO Sky's your winner.
Yes. IYO Sky finally gets her moment in the sun and wins Money in the Bank. And I thought it was a pretty good match all in all. Um, there was a few spots here and there that could have been better, but there were also some big spots that they did pull off, like Zelina Vega and the Sunset Flip. She did pull that off flawlessly on Zoe Stark. Um, I like the handcuff segment at the end. I like the the story that was told a little bit before that, where EO, she was pretty much clear and open to win the title, or I'm sorry, win the briefcase. She's at the top of the ladder all by herself. Then all of a sudden, someone tips it over. Who that someone is? Bailey, her own damage control compadre. Basically, just cost her the briefcase.
She did
And
cost her the
then,
briefcase.
yeah, like it, and Bailey had that remorse. Like, I mean,
She thought about it for a second. She was like, damn.
yeah, and then yeah, and then they went back to that story, and
Yeah, they
EO
played it off
handcuffed.
like EO wasn't aware that it was Bailey that pushed over the ladder. So later, EO helps Bailey. But then later on, Bailey handcuffs Becky Lynch
Yeah,
to her. So it was
but
a
yeah,
great,
some great story there.
yeah, neat little story. I wish they would commit to it. They
Well,
keep like putting their little toe in the water of this damage control breakup.
I will say it's probably EO winning the briefcase probably spells the end of damage control.
I would hope so.
We're gonna finish the story out. Uh, we obviously they already told you that Bailey is is out for herself and she's jealous and all the things because EO had that moment to win the title and Bailey pushed her off. So push comes to shove, Bailey wants the title for herself. Not like she can pretend to be happy for EO or Dakota, but when at the end of the day she wants it for herself. So that jealousy is going to start to come through, and that's going to be the end of damage control. Maybe they don't even make it to SummerSlam, and then that is what we have at SummerSlam.
The only
Um,
drawback to EO winning is we won't get to see Asuka versus EO because they're gonna have her lose to Charlotte or Belair.
well, we might because, um, like I was saying, the women they cash in Money in the Bank pretty quick, like
Mm-hmm.
within a few weeks. So if we get that triple threat match at SummerSlam, that means we're gonna get a cash in before then. So EO versus Asuka. Now it should be at SummerSlam, obviously, but it looks like we'll at least have that match because she's gonna cash it in pretty quick. Now they could go because remember I said Bailey is jealous and all that. She wants the title for herself. So they could go, and they've also been saying pretty much every week that the women have 100% success rate at cashing in Money in the Bank. That's a number. That's not when they throw it out there like that. They're telling you that something's about to happen. So maybe EO is going to cash it in on Asuka. Bailey's going to cost her the title, and then that brings us to SummerSlam. I'm not wanting that to happen because I want EO to get a title run, but
Right.
I'm saying maybe that's what's happening here.
Okay. Guess we'll find out.
We will.
But congratulations to Io. That also makes it. I think I'm so far. All of my picks have been accurate.
I don't like talking about the picks. Those are just stupid.
Oh, we should talk about the picks.
I think no, I got EO right, but
You got
before that,
Io. You
before
got.
that, I went over.
I got Priest.
Yeah, I didn't get the money in the bank. I didn't. We didn't pick Gunther Riddle. I would have got that right.
Yeah, I would have got that right too.
Shayna Raquel, I would have got that wrong. We didn't pick that either because it wasn't announced yet. But I would have got that wrong because I
Same.
would have.
I wouldn't have expected the turn. Yeah.
I got Dom and Cody wrong.
Yep. I got that right.
Like, just yeah, I was down bad this this time.
We both got the women.
Yeah.
So there's that. And we both got the next one. So we have Finn Balor and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. I honestly thought this was a pretty meh match.
Yeah, I was let down on this match. I know they can do a better match,
Of
so I
course.
thought it kind of fell flat for them too.
Priest came out for like no reason. Like I thought he was going to cash it in. I honestly did, but then he just didn't. But he didn't do anything.
Well, he was out there to tease that he was going to cash it in,
Yeah, but it's
and then ended up costing Finn Balor the match.
Balor's distracted, and Rollins hits a curb stomp for the win. And it ends with Balor being extremely pissed off at Priest, and they're yelling at each other. I don't get why he came out. But yeah, it's a good thing that the World Heavyweight title is just as prestigious as one of the 3 belts that Roman has.
Yes, because we were not in the main event yet.
No. And this did not feel like a main event match. This felt like a Raw match.
Absolutely.
There
It
was
felt
nothing. Good.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say absolutely. It felt like this should have just been a match on Raw. If I'm really being honest, I would say Cody and Dominic for how it turned out with just the one simplistic crossroads. That probably should have been a Raw match too.
Yeah. Yeah. But I would say that the Dominic Cody match was a lot better than this one. I at least enjoyed Cody and Dominic to some extent. This, I was zoning in and out. I didn't care. I didn't care about Balor and his stupid like you laughed at me. Okay, well you shouldn't have got hurt.
It was probably because they did the O thing for like 10 minutes
That
before the match
too.
started.
Fuck. That's another. I can't stand Seth Rollins.
Like they
I
did it
hate.
for so you like zone out
Yeah, I hate his gimmick. I hate the O. And now I hate the fact that they do like the 20-minute O spot
with the
just
spotlight.
just before the match. And for some fucking reason, Balor was just standing there listening to it when he could have just attacked him like he's been doing all for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, it just felt like the match never really got out of the starting block, and then
yeah,
we were at the end.
it was just there. But yeah, Rollins wins. He's still your heavyweight champion. Priest did nothing with the briefcase, so that's still an albatross, so to speak, around Seth Rollins' neck. They said something about an edge package. Did you see that at all?
Uh, yeah, it just pretty much showed. So I don't know how I saw it because I was watching on. I had 2 TVs going on,
Mm-hmm.
and because I was in one room and I moved to the other room. I think it's because I turned the TV on late. Anyway, it was just pretty much documented Edge's journey, like him needing to retire and then coming back, and that was pretty much all it was.
Okay. So after that, a lady interviews Zayn and Owens, and they don't really say anything. They just say London's great and Usos are gonna win.
Yeah, really, that was just. It seemed like the only reason that whole thing happened was to get the crowd to sing Sammy's song.
I guess.
Because this era, they're really big into the singing.
Well, they have that 3 woe quota.
Yeah. Oh, go back, by the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of singing, Cody Rhodes, when he came out, they sung like everything. They didn't
Yeah.
just do the whole, they like sung the whole song.
Oh, he got a hell of a reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, they were singing verse two. I'm like, who knows verse two? Like, I get it. You get, like, maybe you get up into the whoa, like, that part of the lyrics, but
Who
these,
knows that there's a verse two?
yeah, these people are singing verse two. I'm like, who knows verse two?
um. Oh yeah. So now we're at the main event, the Civil War.
The main event of the evening.
We have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, versus Solo Sikoa and the undisputed, universal, 3 belt having, gonna main event, even if I'm a tag team non-title match, Roman Reigns. And this
Yep.
was great. Everything about it was great. The crowd was all over Roman from the time he walked out. Fuck you, Roman. If you hate Roman, stand up.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
It
Like, I'm
must
sure
be,
that's something, but I
yeah.
didn't get
It was funny though. They were on him to the point where Roman just he sits down and starts pouting on the apron. So then Paul Heyman goes over to console him, and then Roman goes, "London's stupid. Why are we even here?"
it. Yeah. And these are a bunch of idiots.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, Michael calls like, there you go. He just insulted your people.
it
It's
was
a Wade
great.
Barrett.
Solo looked particularly strong. It's just they keep going back and forth with him. Like we already established that Sammy could take him. So I mean, and Cody beat him. So just the indestructible thing just drives me nuts with him. But for the most part, for this whole match was just the Usos getting their ass beat.
Yes.
And then
This was
they,
more of a story than a match.
I guess, yeah. So then they did the hot tag, and they got their momentum. And Jay actually did a rock punch. Did you see that?
I did not.
I can't remember if he was hitting Solo or Roman, but he's hitting him with the fist, and then he pulls back and he spits in his hand and he slaps him. I'm pretty sure it was Solo.
Okay.
It was a nice little touch. And I can kind of see main event Jay being a rock, like just a
Yeah.
more unpolished rock, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, he's, well, yeah, kind of like a Rock, but different because he doesn't have the charisma that the Rock has, obviously.
Yeah, he's not
But
as he's not
he
as
is,
pretty either.
yeah, but he is like great on the mic.
Yeah,
That's not taking
absolutely.
anything away from him on the mic, but we're just talking about a Mount Rushmore of mic work.
So it's a Reigns match, so that means the effeminate referee has to get bumped.
Boy, did he take a bump! I said, this dude hurt himself taking the
Yeah, it looked
taking
like
the little.
he smashed his face.
Well, okay, so yeah, they bump into him, and then he falls out of the ropes. But as he's falling out of the ropes, like he catches his knee on the wrestlers, so Roman Reigns and Jay. He
Mhm.
catches his knee on them, so he's rolling out of the ring, but his knee's stuck, so he like hits the ropes, and then you like really hear him go ah,
Ah!
I'm like he hurt himself trying to. I just thought it was so funny that he was just he was taking this bump for this like little great little bump
Yeah.
because they just barely bumped into him,
Well,
and
it
he
looked
was
like he was
taking a
holding
bump
his
for that.
nuts too.
Yeah, but he was taking a bump for that little contact,
Uh-huh.
and then rolling out of the ring, he hurts himself for real.
Well, it's just the way he ah!
Yeah, and then Michael Cole's like, you can hear the grimace on the referee because he
Uh,
really hurt himself, and he's like,
so, so after the referees out of the picture, Solo and Roman just kick ass. Uh, Solo hits a Samoan spike on Jimmy. Then he grabs Jay. Roman shares a look with Solo, and then he bounces off the ropes. Then he does a spear, while Solo does a Samoan spike to Jay. Then Roman makes Solo drag Jimmy over next to Jay so he can pin them both at the same time, which he does. 1, 2, and then they kick out. And I gotta say, that was fucking exciting. I liked that. I don't know, like how believable it is, but I got goosebumps. I didn't think for in a million years they were going to kick out of that, and then sure enough, they did.
yeah, I thought it was over at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole match was like a callback to the whole tribal chief journey, which
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
another touch. Like that was a callback to Daniel Bryan and Edge getting stacked up at WrestleMania. There was another callback with the low blow kick out. Just a bunch of stuff calling back to this whole journey.
Well, like you said, there was a low blow kick out. So then the Usos get the upper hand again, get the super kick party going on, and the Usos pin Roman Reigns.
Specifically Jay.
Specifically, Jay pins Roman Reigns. And it was awesome. It was a great main event.
1,200. I don't have the exact number. 3 years Roman Reigns has not been pinned, and today that ended.
And Jay Uso is the one to do it.
Yes, which is, I mean, some people are gonna have a problem with it. If you follow the story, the story started with Jay.
Mm-hmm.
It is just ironic that he is the one that gets the pin, and he's probably getting the match at SummerSlam. Now, there that becomes in another conversation on whether or not he should be the one to dethrone Roman, and if it should happen now. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of time to debate that.
Right. And then, of course, we got the Solo angle. They're already starting to sow the seeds of dissension between him and Roman.
Yeah, and yeah, they are. I liked in the match though. So like right after the spike spear combo, and then Roman stacks him up. After they kick out, Roman is like sitting down. He's like he doesn't know what to do. He's crying, literally crying.
Mm-hmm.
And Solo walks over to him and he's like, "What the what?
Just beat
What are
him
you
up.
doing?"
Yeah.
Like Roman is just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm defeated, and Solo's just like he looks at him and then he just goes and starts kicking the shit out of one of them. And then Roman's like, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful thing there.
Yeah, yeah, that was a
And
good moment.
so it's almost like Solo took the lead there.
Yeah, if you were paying attention, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and
Unfortunately, his lead led to a loss.
yeah, so he's probably going to blame Solo for that,
Yep.
and then that's going to lead to
You should have just let him stay there. You should have kept kicking. I
yeah.
had them.
He well, I lost because of you. Yeah. Um, that was one thing, and then another little thing I picked up was when they were after the beatdown, and Solo takes Jimmy out of the ring, and he's going to put him on the announce table. Roman says, "Destroy him! Destroy him! I don't need him. I need him." Pointing to Jay. Uh, that was another little thing to the story.
Hmm.
He's like, "I don't need Jimmy. I just need Jay. Destroy. I don't care what happens to Jimmy." So they're telling you where this is kind of going. So yeah, it's either going to be Solo or it's going to be Jay at SummerSlam. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's like a fatal four way.
Another civil war.
Well, this one would be for the title,
Okay.
but I'm saying, yeah, early looks like we're getting Jey Uso versus Roman at SummerSlam for the title. Thus begins the debate on if Jey should dethrone Roman. Is it time now to do it? Is he the right person to do it? But we're gonna get into that in another episode because
We are.
that could be a whole episode in itself and clips.
Well, that about wraps up Money in the Bank. I think that wraps up the show.
Well, before we go, there's
Okay.
one more little thing here, and so we just recently passed the 25th anniversary of the Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker and Mick Foley. And I just wanted to bring that up because that was a star making moment for Mick Foley. And I will say that he probably clearly he made more out of that opportunity than the Undertaker, would you say? The Hell in a Cell match? Like he became a bigger name for it than Undertaker?
Well, the Undertaker, I think, was already a big name. Like, I don't know if the Undertaker could have got bigger at that point. So, yeah, I guess even if he didn't, yeah, Mick Foley clearly, based on that fall, um, clearly was the star of the match.
Yeah, so he basically became a star from getting his ass kicked.
But that was always his thing, though. In WCW, he'd do this bump from, and they had the concrete floors. He'd always do a back bump from the apron.
Yeah. Oh, and he'd also do the elbow drop
Yeah.
to the
Yep.
concrete. Cactus Jack, bang bang. But yeah, I just wanted to call that out because that is a big moment in wrestling history. That Hell in a Cell match. You can almost argue that that was the end of the Hell in a Cell match because after that point, they could only go downhill. And I believe that was even, yeah, that was after the Shawn Michaels Undertaker one.
Yeah, I think
That was
the
the
Shawn
first one.
Michaels Undertaker. Yeah,
So yeah, it was pretty much only downhill from there because you couldn't really do anything that could top that. There were some standouts, but for the most part, that one. I mean, also probably the Rikishi spot where he fell off into like the stack of hay or whatever the hell that was. I did it for the Rock. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. 25th anniversary, nice
Uh,
little throwback. That also is what led me into the whole Dominic can be Randy Orton thing because from that match, from the Hell in a Cell match, I then watched the Mick Foley versus Randy Orton match. So that's why that random connection earlier was there.
All right.
But if you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments. If you agree with anything, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment your favorite match of Money in the Bank. And is there anything else?
Just have a good night.
All right.